Ambassador Cohen, since we have the unique opportunity of having you here, we'll ask a couple of questions that relate directly to your backgrounds. Which African countries are facing major political changes in 2017?
Well, what we're seeing now is essentially a change of generations. Some of the older leaders, for example, President Dos Santos of Angola, I believe he's been president for over 25 years. He took over as a young man when the previous president died of natural causes. And he has now said, I am leaving, one more year. And so now the party in power, the MPLA party, which has been in power since independence, they have to start looking for a replacement. And that's going to be important because Angola could be one of the most wealthy countries in Africa. I've traveled all over that place, and parts of Angola are just like the United States. It's on a high plateau. They have wonderful soil. The farmers are very, very good. They've learned over the years how to produce all sorts of wonderful things. And if Angola can really open up its political system and welcome the private investor, which now the private sector is now, except for oil, foreign companies, the private sector is very thin in Angola. So what I'd like to see them under a new administration, replacing President Dos Santos, to really expand. And there are some countries that are already doing quite well. For example, as I mentioned before, Kenya, where the Kenyan business people are really doing well. I was just speaking to a friend of mine the other day. He said, my daughter's in Kenya. She's teaching entrepreneurship to young people. So that's a good sign that Kenya loves that sort of thing. Now, certain countries are doing quite well already. Botswana, for example, is the biggest producer of jewelry diamonds in the world. And not only do they export diamonds, they polish diamonds there. And the famous De Beers company of South Africa, which began the whole diamond business for the whole world, they are now exclusively in Botswana. They've left South Africa. And another country that's noted for its great management is the tiny Republic of Rwanda, where people go and just marvel at how the cities are so well maintained and how the roads are so good and how they're trying to become another Singapore. And I think they might succeed over the next 10 years. Now, of course, there are some problem countries which are important. Zimbabwe, for example. Zimbabwe is very, very bad condition because the ruling party has become so corrupt, and everyone is waiting for the 93-year-old president to finally leave power. And until he does, things are going to be difficult. One thing I found out when I was stationed there is Zimbabwe is the second biggest producer of Virginia tobacco in the world after the United States. And that's a great source of foreign earnings for the farmers. And all of the farms now are run by Africans themselves, and they're doing very well. So Africa's a mixed bag, but what I'd like to emphasize is that some countries are really moving forward, especially Kenya, South Africa, Botswana, Rwanda, and Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana. So let's keep our eyes on them and for great opportunities to make money.
And I think Mauritius is on this webinar today, and they have a fairly stable and strong political system as well, right?
Oh, Mauritius is terrific. I apologize for leaving them off my list. When I started out in the State Department, Mauritius had extreme poverty. In fact, we were sending food for work to Mauritius. Now it's become one of the most sophisticated financial centers in the world. In addition to their original wealth-producing sugarcane, they are now terrific in electronics, electric power, and in financial exchanges. So I'm really proud of Mauritius, the country that I've worked on so much.
Thank you. The embassy will be happy to hear that. So.